Hey everyone, welcome back to Mike's Vinyl Experience. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very, very much. And quickly just want to do a shout out to those of you that commented on my latest video, Simon & Garfunkel Bridge Over Troubled Water, their fifth and final studio album that was released in 1970. And Mobile Fidelity just had reprinted it earlier this year. What a great and iconic album that is. Today, I want to follow up with you on another Simon & Garfunkel album, their fourth album, the album prior to Bridge Over Troubled Water, Bookends. This was released in 1968. It took them 2 years to record. They started recording in 1966, and it took them a couple of years. It's really a concept album by Simon & Garfunkel, and it's really an interesting album. I was really quite young in 1968 when this was released, and so obviously I don't even think at that time of my age I was really into music at all. But I got acquainted with Simon & Garfunkel through my sisters and my parents, in particular my dad, who really liked Simon & Garfunkel. And as I grew older, I really became familiar with Paul Simon because he was doing so many fun albums in his solo career. And so I really got acquainted with him and then kind of fell back a little bit, if you will, and started listening to some of Simon & Garfunkel's albums, which I absolutely love. They're incredible albums. And this one is no exception. This is a fantastic album. The only copy of this album that I have up until now was a CD that I had of Bookends. Well, and I actually have a Mobile Fidelity gold CD. I've got a couple of copies of that I purchased back when I was purchasing Mobile Fidelity gold CDs back in the 80s and 90s. And so I do have that. And so I've listened to that off and on, and it certainly sounded great. The Mobile Fidelity gold disc sounds really, really good. Well, today, I just want to kind of go over with you and talk with you about Mobile Fidelities. This just got released maybe, I don't know, 5-6 days ago at the very most. They shipped it right out to me when it was released, and so I'm excited about that. And I tell you what, since I got it, it's probably been 4 days since I got it. Been listening quite intently. Like I say, I've had the album on CD and gold CD, and would listen to it off and on. It wasn't really a frequent listen for me, and I really don't know why. Because after listening to this album, my heavens, this is a great album. If you're unfamiliar with Bookends, really give it a listen. Wherever you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it might be, give this album a listen. It really is a great album. Musicality-wise, it's phenomenal. I don't know why I haven't listened to it as much, but I'm certainly going to be now. It's really taken me in these past few days, having this album and listening to it. So as we kind of talked about initially, it's a concept album by Simon & Garfunkel. And really, it's a fun album. They start off talking about the concept from childhood to old age. And it's really an interesting ride. The musicality of this album is fantastic. I can't highly recommend it enough. Of course, the big hit on the album is Mrs. Robinson. Fantastic song in its own right. But really and truthfully, there's so many other songs on here that are so, I really want to say, un-Simon & Garfunkel-like, because it's really not like Bridge Over Troubled Water in any way, shape, or form. Or really it wasn't, well, I guess it was a little bit. The album prior to this was their soundtrack movie to The Graduate. And so, this is really kind of a different album for them. And I tell you what, it's awesome. I think this is just a great album. Like I say, I don't know why I haven't been listening to this very often in recent years, but I tell you what, This is a whole new renewal of a great album that I'm going to be listening to a lot. Well, let's take a look and see what Mobile Fidelity has done with their remastering and repressing of Simon & Garfunkel 1968 release, fourth release of Simon & Garfunkel, Bookends. So the process that Mobile Fidelity has used to repress and remaster this great album by Simon & Garfunkel is what they have done is they've taken the original master tape, they copied that to 256 DSD, and then they take that audio file and directly put it to their analog console and then to lathe. And then of course the pressing process begins from there. As we talked about, we did do, and I'll put the link into the video that we just did 3 days ago on Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon & Garfunkel. And I hope I wasn't too harsh on that album. It's a fantastic pressing. I think they did a really good job. And I'll tell you what, as we get into the review of this and the sound quality of this album, I'll tell you what I think they've done here with this album. But let's first start and take a look at the album itself. Of course, I think what they've done, and I hope you're seeing this without a whole lot of glare, I think what they've done with the cover is absolutely excellent. It's not a gatefold, it's just a single jacket album. My number is 000616 of the album. Oh, let me just tell you what else is inside the album before we get too far. They have included an incredibly awesome, very well printed, absolutely stunning, very well, easily could be framed for sure. And I hope you can see that poster of Simon & Garfunkel. What an incredible feature this is to the album. At least I think it is anyway. Let's take a look at the vinyl album. It's pressed on Mobile Fidelity's SuperVinyl. Of course, it's 33 RPM, 180 gram vinyl. I've talked about this a lot, and not just with Mobile Fidelity, but other manufacturers. The super quietness of these albums that we're getting nowadays is unbelievably fantastic. I can't even stress enough how I think, at least to me and through my ears and my system, I think that super quiet vinyl really adds to the enjoyment and to the sound quality in particular of these new audiophile represses. And boy, I tell you what, let's go ahead and get started with the review and the sound of the music. The quality of this vinyl on this album is just fantastic. Let's go ahead and talk about the sound quality of the Mobile Fidelity album that's just been released of Simon & Garfunkel, Bookends. As we just got through talking about, it's on their SuperVinyl, so that the tracks, in between the tracks, the start of the album, the end of the it's the quiet passages in the album are just super quiet. I just know in my heart that has a huge impact on how we listen to and the sound quality that we receive. Let's go ahead and start with side one of Simon & Garfunkel, Bookends. The first song on side one is Bookends Theme. This is a very dynamic song, and if you're familiar with it, jump on Spotify or Apple Music and listen to this song, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And really, on this album, the Mobile Fidelity SuperVinyl 33 RPM, this is an extremely dynamic song. Detail is really incredible on this. Super clean upper end on the acoustic guitar. A great sounding opening song for this album. Moving on to the second song on side one, Save the Life of My Child. Now this is a really fun song and a great song, which is incredibly awesome. There's a Moog synthesizer in here which you could really hear. It's providing the bass line for the song, and it sounds phenomenal with good extension and weight. It sounds really good. Detail is excellent. Very nice sounding song. Moving on to song 3, America. This is yet another one of the great songs on the album. This is probably one of my favorite songs on the album, just because of just the fun nature of the song. The sound quality is stunning. This is just a great, excellent dynamic song. Fantastic bottom end with extended top end, but it's very well balanced from top to bottom. It's got loads of detail on this song. The drums sound absolutely excellent on this song. Side 1, song 4, Overs. Amazing vocals, such great clarity on this track. Guitars sound absolutely excellent, clean, and once again, loaded with detail. And some of the quiet passages in this song, you really can hear, you really can't hear. It's coming off of a black background. The vinyl is super quiet. Song 5 on side 1, Voices of Old People. Now what they did here is they went to a couple places and recorded, like rest homes and so forth, and recorded older people. And the sound quality is actually excellent. It's just old people talking, and it's surprisingly how well this sounds. It's really quite an interesting track. 6th song on side 1 is Old Friends. Paul Simon's vocals, vocals just in general sound amazing on this song. Great detail, excellent dynamics. Guitar sounds extremely nice on that song. The last song on side 1, song 7, Bookends theme, once again, very excellent, just a great sounding cut. Flipping the album over to side 2, song 1 on side 2, Fakin' It, great song, really a good song. Excellent resolution from top to bottom. Vocals are absolutely superb, clean and super detailed on this track. Song 2 on side 2, Punky's Dilemma, another excellent song and great dynamics in this song. Bass guitar is well defined and extended. It's got gobs of detail. This song is just so well detailed. Vocals are excellent. Whistling is just absolutely amazing in this song. You got to hear it to believe it. It really is amazing. Of course, song 3 on side 2, the most popular cut, one of the most popular cuts that Simon and Garfunkel did, Mrs. Robinson. This is just a great song. Everybody loves this song. You've heard it 1,000,001 times. I tell you what, you want to hear it on this album because it sounds fantastic. Excellent sound throughout. Guitar is simply stunning. Excellent resolutions. Vocals are absolutely spot on this song. Song 4 on side 2, A Hazy Shade of Winter. This is probably the best song on the album next to Mrs. Robinson, in my opinion. This is a great song. Super clean sounding, excellent sound stage. And when I say excellent sound stage, you got to listen to this song to get what I'm talking about, because the sound stage goes well beyond the right and left speaker. It's really incredible. In fact, you can actually hear it beyond the walls. I don't know how that was recorded initially, but boy, I tell you what, the way that it sounds on the mobile Fidelity is striking. It's just striking. 5th song, last song on side 2 is At the Zoo. Paul's voice in this is just absolutely wonderful. Dynamics are nice, excellent detail. A fantastic rendition, repress, audiophile repress of a 1968 classic, at least in my opinion. My conclusion as I was listening to this album was this: MOFI has done an incredible job. Excellent resolution and fine detail from start to finish. Dynamics were where they were required, were there in spades. Very well balanced from top to bottom. SuperVinyl, super quiet. One of the best albums that I have purchased this year. Yes, it is. It is one of the absolute best albums that I have purchased. Sound quality is phenomenal on this album. Musicality is phenomenal on this album. I don't know why in the world I haven't been listening to this album more often prior to getting this album. I have no idea why, but I tell you what, it's going to find itself in my rotation quite a lot more than it ever has before. Sound quality, absolutely amazing. Mobile Fidelity has done a fantastic job with this release. I can't recommend it enough. As I indicated, this is one of the best albums I have purchased this year. Glad I have it. It's limited to 4,000 copies, so if you're interested in it, you might want to jump on it. It's a great album. I do know they released it on SACD, and I'm sure that sounds fantastic as well. I didn't get the CD, I just got the 33 RPM album, but I'm sure that's a good release as well, but I can't speak to it because I don't have it. But the 33 RPM SuperVinyl release by Mobile Fidelity is fantastic. Highly, highly recommended. Thank you all so much for watching. Our next video will be taking a look, very likely, we'll be taking a look at the latest 2 Rhino High Fidelity releases that was just announced earlier this week. I should have them here in the next couple of days. I'll listen to them and we'll get a video out and talk about them. Super excited for them. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you so much. But most important to me is please leave comments in the comment section below. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your thoughts on this pressing, other pressings of the album that you might have, that you've listened to. I love corresponding with you and hearing from you. So please keep doing that. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.